Hey guys. So I thought what I'd do is, can you gather a lot of information from somebody by what they watch? I don't know. I guess if I watched a lot of Star Trek, you would say that I was a Star Trek fan. That's something that you can glean from somebody's watch history or subscriptions. But anyway, here are mine. Um, Young Ripa 59. He is a radical libertarian like me. I am also an extreme libertarian. He and I are both um, freedom to the maximum, 100% freedom. Um, Now, I will say that at least at some point, not too long ago, I think he leaned left libertarian, but I think he's corrected himself, and we all grow, we all do things in different ways, and I'm going to say this about left libertarians: they are still really good at teaching people the basic principles of freedom, self ownership. If I want to smoke pot, it's my body, my choice. All that kind of stuff. The problem is in their implementation of everything. It's very lefty SJW stuff. And in every meaningful way, sure, they talk about not paying taxes and being free and self-ownership and stuff like that, but in all of their day-to-day activities, they are very lefty. They hate the cops. They'll call them fascist pigs. They won't be able to tell you the difference between a man and a woman. Gay, straight, doesn't matter to them. Like open borders, nothing matters, nothing matters, nothing matters. It's like, so practically, yeah, sure, technically they're libertarian, but practically they're just another lefty. And I hate to break it to Earth, we got a long way to go before we get to libertarianism. So it's good to have your eye on that prize and understand very well what that prize is. But we need to get there. And we get there through right wing and beyond. And he's come around. We had a talk which didn't go so well, but it doesn't matter. I'm not an easy person to talk to. I am not easy to talk to at all. So um, it's difficult, and I don't blame anybody for not being able to understand me right away. Um, these guys, ADV China, he's from South Africa and he's from America. People think that he's Jewish, but he's not. But this guy was born in South Africa, and he left because let's be straight up, South Africa is collapsing. The murders and the violence and the black takeover and just it's going to be a third world country soon. They might do the like they did in Haiti when black people get up. They might do the massacre thing. They might just kill all the white people like they did in Haiti, um, like they've done many places. You remember the movie Hotel Rwanda? That movie would never be made today. Black on Black Genocide is a movie that would never get made today. Never get made. Never, ever get made because it was black on black, African on African crime. It's sad, too, because, we just got to tell the truth. Hey, I ain't got no problem you talking about the Holocaust as long as you put it into fucking perspective. Like, how come we always hear about the Holocaust and never about the Holodomor? Do you even know what that is? You know, a lot of people died in World War II, not just people in concentration camps, but that seems to be what it's all about, because it's about playing the victim so that everybody feels sorry and lets you get away with things you shouldn't get away with, like the Federal Reserve and Israel and all these wars and everything else, right? Just play the victim card, and then it's your get out of jail free card. Not with me, by the way. If you're an asshole, I don't care if you're gay, straight, male, female, nothing. Don't give a fuck. But anyway, so these two guys they moved to China separately. They met inside of China. I'm pretty sure that I'm getting that correct. Like 15 years ago. They both have Chinese wives, and they have both mixed race children. And they moved to China when it was going up, up, up. You gotta understand that China, third world country, and then they start to adopt some capitalism, and then it moves into second world country, and it was actually moving towards first world country. But then I think the communist, I don't know what happened, but anyway, they started to regress. They started to backtrack. The freedom, I don't know, there's something about, they just, it's terrible. I hate these fucking leaders. I'm a libertarian, for fuck's sakes. I can't stand it. But they left. And they both have got their, wives with them. And I'm pretty sure they're both in America now. And what they did is they got on their motorcycles, ADV China, got on their motorcycles and just drove around China and other places in the world. Motorcycle, GoPro, and I guess some type of hidden microphones. Anyway, so they would literally have chats about the culture, about, just sort of philosophy and politics and stuff revolving around China. So these two are two white guys that are experts in China. And they saw the rise, and they also saw the fall. Which it hasn't completely fallen yet, but it's going there. Not to say that America is not, because that fucking debt, Jesus Christ. How the fuck do you manage that? So, yeah, two great guys. If you ever want, inside information about China, these two guys are good ones. John Talks. He's a kind of a comic book, fandom menace type. One of the reason why I am interested in the fandom menace, or kind of anti-far left injection into movies and TV and stuff. These are people that have gone, whoa, slow the hell down. I guess in comics, Spider-Man is now bisexual and Wolverine is gay. They just did that, right? Because of course they did. There's no end. It'll be pedophilia and incest and bestiality and everything. They're already working on those things, by the way. I guess this new movie from Disney is running into some problems, but anyway. So he's kind of just part of the fandom menace that I joined, and I like to, even though I don't really care about comics and I don't care about Star Trek, I care about each of these things just a little bit. I'm a horror guy. But they're the same, right? It's just a different fandom. It's the same arguments, the same conversations, the same grievances. But, I'm horror and they're comics. It's just a little bit different. Two dudes and some bullshit. Dave McRae. So he and I have had words, and I'm pretty sure he's probably a lefty, but he does a pretty, outside of mocking Donald Trump on a pretty regular basis, but that's mostly Tony. Again, there's a lot of good people in horror in horror YouTube. Like, I don't really like the big professional channels that are just reading a script and it's all pro and all pro and all pro. It's like they're literally just making a TV show. I like the more relaxed, more relatable, just people on people stuff. And they're the last ones. I just can't take any of the other horror YouTubers. They're just either they're quiet about the political stuff. They just don't want to even talk about it. They don't want to touch it, or they agree with it all, and I can't do that. But Dave McRae is really the last one yet. He might come out and communism, yeah, bullshit, Bernie bro, and I might have to say goodbye to him. But I got to thinking, what about all of the other horror fans that are also feeling like me? They're watching Jason Blum. Like, literally, I genuinely thought, it was crazy to me that I thought all of this SJW stuff, far left or communist, whatever you want to call it, all this stuff would skip over horror. It would skip it by. Because at the time, I was like, how do you turn horror into SJW nonsense? And then I think back to something like a Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, how do you SJW that up? And quite frankly, I don't know, because I don't think like this. How do I, make sure that there's enough black people in there and enough girls kicking man ass, and by the way, this has to be there and that has to be like this and this and this, and I just don't think in those terms of how to tick all the boxes of the SJW. And by the way, people have taken a look at their SJW checklists in movies and TV shows and comic books and all sorts of stuff. And they always miss the mark too. Even the pro SJWs miss the mark. And the reason is because you can't hit the mark. The mark doesn't exist. Once you actually keep SJWing yourself to the full end of that, you get to the individual. You literally group people into boxes, into so many boxes, and you have so many different boxes, and that you literally, everybody is in their own set of boxes. This is something Jordan B. Peterson said. You box people up. Oh, this one has white, so he has privilege. This one is black, so he's a victim. This one is straight, cis and straight, and this one is gay, and this one is trans, and this one was born rich, and this one is taller, and this one is, you just keep going. You can go forever. You just keep grouping people into groups, and then you group them up so much, and you have so many categories of people, that you literally are, at the end of all of that, doing all that, you're back to the individual. And that's the right-winger. Individualism, capitalism, self-ownership. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Not saying you can't help anybody. You can dedicate your entire life to helping people if you want to. You're an individual. You can choose that. Nobody wants to walk to work, walk past a bunch of starving babies on the street on their way to work, I don't want it. You don't want it. Nobody wants it. But we're still individuals. And that's an interesting thing. So I got off track there. These guys are the last ones for now. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to kick them to the curb. But Dave seems pretty open to conversations. Even though, and I keep calling him out on his bullshit every time anybody. And by the way, it should be some type of a compliment that I'm even in your life. Because the reason why I don't criticize the Young Turks is because they have been deleted from my life. I mean, that means something, right? It means I care enough to consume your content and make a comment. The Young Turks, I don't even care that much. Anita Sarkeesian, don't care. CNN, don't care. The Oscars, don't care. Well, except for the highlights of the Oscars, and then it's like, oh, yeah, see? You wonder why we skipped it? Mr. Don't put milk in your coffee, Phoenix. By the way, as you were reading that stunning and brave little piece of poetry from your dead brother, I noticed you didn't bring up how he died. You mean the drug overdose at Johnny Depp's bar when he was, 20 or 21 years old? You're not going to bring that up? I think it was 20. I think it was underage. At Johnny Depp's bar. And he had already played a homosexual in that movie. Forget what it was. Him and Keanu Reeves. Gross. We all have incredible lives, because I could tell you about people who have died and been murdered and things like that. But they're private, right? You don't know about them, and it's like somebody else's extreme life experiences. Everybody knows about them, so it's kind of unfair. Like, I have extreme life circumstances, and so does Johnny Depp or Keanu Reeves. But everybody knows about his and not about mine. So, you got to take things with... But anyway, I'm just saying, you were a nobody until your brother died of a drug overdose at Johnny Depp's nightclub at the age of 20, or whatever it was. So these are the last horror people that I listen to at the moment, and I don't know how long that's going to last. It might, they might catch wind of this and say, unsubscribe from me right now. Midnight's Edge, another these are geeks that are getting tired of being called racist, sexist, and homophobic. Basically, that's what the fandom menace is. Chills. This has got to be a horror channel that I subscribe to that I've never watched a video from. Hunter Avalone, he's a young man who is kind of conservative. He's just finding his way in life. He gets it right most of the time. Kind of a young, kooky kid, but my God, he's much further ahead than I was at that age, for God's sakes. I didn't care about any politics or philosophy at these ages. My God, I was out drinking and partying, working, and out all night partying, every night. Not thinking about politics at all. And see, that's another thing, too. When somebody like me, a 20-year-old like me, sits down to watch a movie, or goes to see a movie with their friends on Tuesday nights or something, one of the reasons why we fight, us political people fight, is to make that person, that stranger's entertainment better. They just wanted to like the young me just wanted to go see a fucking movie. He didn't need to be lectured to about not raping women, don't abuse your wife, the patriarchy, white male privilege. Fuck. He just wanted to go see a fucking movie. The younger me, the 25 years old, 25-year younger me. And you want to know something? If you would have kept lecturing me, I'd have fucking told you where to fucking go. I was kind of like, we're all kind of default lefties, right? Because that leftism is childhood. Childhood equals leftism. It's just the way it is. Let me see if we're still going here. Yeah. Childhood equals leftism. When you go to the fridge when you're 8 and you pull out an apple and you eat it, you don't have any concept of where that came from. You don't really care that like your dad is gone all day to work, but you don't care, right? You just expect the money to be there and the food to be on the table and the heat to be on, and you just kind of take all those things for granted. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what your parents' job is to take care of those things. And when they take care of those things well, it kind of gets hidden. But at some point, you got to realize that you're the adult that now has to start doing that for your kids. You have to be that person that is paying and doing that. Like, socialism doesn't work when you're an adult. It only works when you're a kid in your nuclear family. It doesn't work with the stranger across the street that you've never met. You're not going to just randomly pick somebody out of planet Earth and say, okay, we're just going to have a joint bank account and we're going to go. Just that's it. Right? Socialism doesn't work on a large scale. It only works with, and by the way, you can't love everyone. It's you can only have intimately know, I think, 200 or 500 people. Your brain can't comprehend more than that. I mean, intimately, and that's maximum. Most people only know like 1 or 2, maybe 5 or 10. If you're lucky, 20 or 30. Intimate knowledge of other people. I guess maybe if you add in your workmates, because you get to know them quite well. You spend enough time with them. But anyway, Drunken Uncle. He's somebody I used to listen to. I don't know. They're pretty good. Drunken Uncle, and that is Sinatra. Sinatra Says. They were anti-SJWs, and now they're a little bit more edgy, but not much. They're just kind of your anti-SJW standard conservative commentator. Rebel News. I don't watch much of his stuff, but like if that really caught me, this is the Canadian conservative online I don't know, outlet. Rucka Reacts. He's Rucka. He's a Jew, and he is an Wait, I'm gonna fuck up the word. Objectivist. That is Ayn Rand, another Jew. By the way, I might rag on Jews, but let's be honest. They make up just about all of my favorite philosophers. So I don't know, Jews are just both loved and hated with me. Not hated. I don't hate any Jew, but I mean that fucking Israel, the Federal Reserve, these endless wars, Jesus, and the Hollywood, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't hate Jews because of these things, but bloody hell. When you see a pale-skinned person on Twitter talking about how much white people suck, chances are it's a Jew, right? So I'm going to call a spade, but um, there's a lot of Jews that I just fucking love to death. But there's a lot in this other category. I don't know what you call it. I just think fucking, I don't know what the fuck this is. Just full of hatred and bigotry or something. Something's going wrong there. Rucka yells at new intellectual. So I like this kid, objectivism. This is very close to extreme libertarianism like me. It's very close. We're in the same family. I don't see the need to argue. I think we should maybe chat with one another so that we expose both of our ideologies. But when you're so close in ideology, I don't see the. I used to, but I don't anymore. There's no need to bicker and complain about the fucking little ins and outs of libertarianism, the little tiny microscopic things, because we got the fucking huge ones. We got endless wars. We got fucking half of your shit goes to the fucking government for them to flush down a toilet. You got just dummies in charge everywhere. You got Justin Trudeau's and fucking AOC's. Hillary's, suicide count is getting pretty fucking high. It's just, Saudi Arabia, just fucking the warmongers. You got Kim Jong-il. You got the fucking Communist Party in China. I mean, it's endless, right? We got much bigger fishes to fry than, our little things. Well, what should the age of consent be? Should there be an age of consent? Oh my God. Stop it. ADV China, here's again. That's just another video from them. They've been really called out recently because they're really good at English, and they have a Western perspective on China. So with this stuff going on, they've been an excellent source of information, given they know, like I said, they've both been living in China for 15 years. They're very well versed. Like I said, this guy on the right here, he's from South Africa. He knows all too well. I think he's admitted that everyone in his family has been attacked. Everyone. Joe Biden commits multiple gaffes okay, so this is the Liberty House. It's just like, these are kind of news clip people. They're good for like little pieces, right? This guy, Alistair Williams, is a Brit. He's a comedian. If anybody tells you that there are no right-wing comedians, they're lying. There's lots of them. And yes, they get kicked to the curb, like all of us right-wingers. The left-wingers just have to have a monopoly on the TV and stand-up comedy and stuff. Very few people can break the thing. Dave Chappelle kind of was half and half up there on stage in his last special. Half and half. And, that pissed a lot of people off. The black guy that was going to do the Oscars, Kevin Hart, told a gay joke 20 years ago, and he got kicked to the curb. I mean, Jesus, they're going to kick so many to the curb, there ain't going to be any left. This is why, the left fixes itself. The left equals the wrong way to go. It's just always the wrong way to go. So when you go the wrong way, it's just a living hell. And you're just going to keep saying that you want to go down that road, but it's a living hell. So then everybody dies or they kill themselves because it's a living hell. It's just the wrong way to go. Equality is a terrible thing. It's just a way for the people at the top to get power over you. And no, the big business owners aren't the problem. The problem is the government granting those big um, people more power. Kevin's Corner, a black conservative. I love me, my black conservatives. Why? Because they just, the way they talk about it is different. They're not worried about their little, pieces of this and, just trying to get everything. They just fucking say it. This is why I really do. I like black conservatives more than white ones. And I guess I'm allowed to say that because that's being racist in the right direction, right, lefties? But no, seriously. They just know how to say it better. Buttigieg drops out. He's saying that 3 more are dropping out. Buttigieg, that white guy that was singing that, fuck me song, trying to be, pandering to black people. Oh my God. If I was ever going to be, I wouldn't pander them. I'd say, hey, we're in this together. You're me and I'm you, but I fucking hate rap. Let's get some money in your pocket and get your family out of the ghetto, but don't fucking tell me about your fucking, hip hop and whatever. I ain't got no hot sauce in my purse. Do you remember that from Hillary Clinton? Oh yeah, I carry around hot sauce everywhere I go. Pandering. The pandering that the left does to blacks in America is so off the chart. Stu Does America. This is another Blaze. I've only listened to one. I like the Blaze. I don't love it. It's okay. Um, Kitten Lady. The Blaze is Glenn Beck left Fox News and he started up his own thing. And he's got many, 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 many channels. He's got his eggs in many baskets. He's the white-haired guy with the goatee, kind of chubby, small glasses, Hitler glasses. That writes on the chalkboard all the time. That's him, and he's great. He's very good. I don't know exactly. There's different camps of every religion, but he's the Mormon, and I don't know exactly how far down that road he goes because you can definitely go too far. Kitten Lady. Look at her. Look at all the tattoos on her, right? This is one of those probably lefties, right? Usually girls with tattoos from their toes to their nose, right? They're usually lefties. But when is a lefty a good thing? When do I like lefties? Well, when they kind of shut up about their politics and they just live life. No problems, right? And I agree with them. And dare I say, I even appreciate the lefties when they are just very clearly doing something that is positive. Like Joaquin Phoenix, instead of yipping and yapping about nothing, because that's all this is, right? They just yip and yap. Why not do something? No, like Chris Evans is going to start a website. Really? He's going to start a website that teaches I forget what it was. No, you could just, go to, ghettos and, I don't know, start fixing up houses. I don't know. That's the problem with charity, is oftentimes charity is not a good thing, believe it or not. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to go into it right now, but at the end of the day, this girl, Kitten Lady, is probably a lefty, which she doesn't bring up. She literally just helps kittens. I know, shocker. Kitten Lady helps kittens. She's like a veterinarian, a special veterinarian for kittens. Kitten, 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 kitten. And all the the just kittens that were abandoned all the way up to and including fucking three-legged kitten here, right? Um, Now, believe it or not, she's making more kittens in the world than were wanted. Like, I guess you could say that like if somebody wants a kitten, they're just going to go out and get one. But if you're making sort of more of them by fixing them up, it's hard, it's rough to say, but the kitten that freezes to death outside doesn't need a home. I know this is a very right wing. It's an extreme way of thinking about stuff, but that's how life works. People die so that new can come in. It's things die when things aren't aligned properly. People die that way. And but here's the thing. One, I like animals too. I can be stupid and just like the animal, just like everybody else. But she has a big smile on her face. So if she's going to fix up, some cats and improve the life of kittens, at least in her, universe, there's technically nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is a good thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick example of when charity can go bad. Remember Live Aid? You probably don't because you're probably too young. But Live Aid was a big concert. And the first one, the money raised, it was only a couple million. They didn't really raise that much. With all the people that actually went to go see it. It went to a spot in Africa, and it just destroyed the country. It's one of the worst charitable things that has ever happened to Africa. Like, it's literally Live Aid, and it was supposed to provide aid, 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 to Africa. And it did the exact opposite. I guess the money got sucked up by some warlords, and they bought a bunch of guns and weapons, and then they went on a killing spree. I'm not joking either. It's one of the biggest disasters of all time. Even Bob Geldof put it together. Even he admits it. Oh yeah, that was a terrible thing we did then. That's why the second one, the 25-year later one, that was just a protest. That was just a protest, the G8. Whatever. But I mean, so you can't just say charity automatically equals good. Like and here's another one. Gathering up all of the t-shirts and putting them in a shipping container and shipping them off to Africa. Say all the shoes or all the t-shirts, whatever it happens to be that you're shipping. You destroy that local economy. When everything is free, you ruin the businesses. Right? Instead of going to the shop and buying, or maybe you needed a shirt, but you didn't have the money, so you traded work for it, and then you slowly built everything up, you just got it for free. And that happens a lot. The shoe companies, the textile companies in Africa, all laid waste by all the donations. So all those businesses, they just go tits up. It's not as simple as you think. Just give, just give, just give. No. Look at the welfare. I guess the simpler thing is just look at welfare. You give people welfare for too long, and then it just becomes a way of life. Lauren Chen, there's not a whole lot of women that I enjoy listening to, because I make no bones about it. Usually they don't bring a whole lot to the table. These lefties that, I don't have any time for any of them. But the right-wingers, yeah, there are some great conservative girls that I love listening to. Now she's okay. She's very milquetoast, but Heather McDonald I think is my favorite. But then there's Ann Coulter, and there's a few of them. But you and she's fucking Heather McDonald. Jesus Christ, she will rip your head off with her tongue. And you think I'm overly truthful, and you think that I'm insensitive? You gotta fucking. She's the exact same way, except she uses nice professional language. She's really intelligent, much more intelligent than I am. So there you go. I just blew smoke up a female's butt. I guess he's not as sexist as we thought he was. Flat Earther yells at kids. Revenge of the Sith. These two guys are just kind of fun, kind of kooky podcasters that sit there and talk about stupid lefties and stupid people. No borders equals no country. Judicial Watch. I don't know why I'm subscribed to this. Markets are not sustainable or not stable. I get tired of some of these libertarians. They're nothing about doom and gloom, 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 doom and gloom. And same thing with this guy down here. These are kind of independent news people. Now, they're fighting an uphill battle, right? They're covering, but it's always like, oh my God, the stock market is going to crash, and then this is going to end, and this is going to. It's like they're alarmists. That's what they're called. So overall I like what they have to say, but you just got to fucking calm yourself down. It's like Tim Pool, right? It's the world is fucking going to go to end. The world is fucking going to go to end. Every single one of his videos. It's all going up. It's a civil war next week. Oh, civil war next week. No, civil war in 3 days. Civil war in 12 seconds. And all this shit, right? It's just fucking calm down. But alarmism kind of gets you the clicks. Gets everybody excited and excited and excited and... Okay. Mr. Dapperton. He's kind of one of those libertarians that I just keep listening to. He's been around for a long time, but his channel has never grown. Kevin's Corner, addressing Keith. Another Kevin's Corner video. Revenge of the Sith. This is just a segment from their thing. Again, Anomaly. This guy's kind of cool. I guess he's Puerto Rican, or part Puerto Rican. I'm not sure. Not that but anyway, look at his hair. He looks like a total fucking guru, like one of those fucking boom, 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 and he kind of is like one of those guys. He's like all peace and love and all that kind of stuff, but he's very conservative. He's like peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, and don't give me. There's only two genders: peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Just these SJWs are out of control. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Vote Republican. Peace and love. He's a weird guy, but I really like him. Yellow Flash. I guess Comicsgate. This guy's Canadian, and he's just another one of those alarmist libertarians. I like him. I don't watch any of his stuff, really. But he's kind of an alarmist. It's good, though. If you like, it's just different types, different strokes for different folks. So, I don't know. He's okay. Blaze TV is what I've told you before. Glenn Beck, that's him. He's not wearing his glasses there. Democrats call it quits after South. Compound Media. That is, what's his face? I forget. Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony? I forget which one. Comics Artist Pro Secrets. He's like kind of the head of Comicsgate. Rebel News, we've already went through him. MRC TV, just a sort of a Christian news channel. Very mild. Just basic conservative. John Miller. I really like this guy. He's kind of a light black. I don't know what you call it, brown. Conservative. But he is just so energetic and into it and into his job and into it and into it. It's just like so full of energy, and it's just like, God, just could you bottle up that energy and sell it? You wouldn't have to do YouTube anymore. The Truth About Transgenders by John Doyle. Oh, this guy I love. So again, a young kid, a fucking young kid, and he's got his shit together so well. I don't know how, like, I was just so flaky and all over the place and partying and not paying attention to anything when I was his age. But he's got it all together. Good stuff. He could be president one day. I'm not kidding either. Entertaining, he can do it all. Mises Media. Mises, Nerdrotic, I guess you would say the fandom menace. He's sick and tired of the SJWs in infiltrating his Star Trek and his Doctor Who and stuff. So he's calling it out. Mises, the premier, I guess, libertarian organization. The number one libertarian organization, formal organization on Earth, I'm going to say. You can go to the Mises.org, I believe it's .org, Mises, Ludwig von Mises, that's his name. This organization is named after him. He's the number one libertarian or organization on planet Earth. Judicial Watch. And still people, I think once you've learned your libertarianism, you got to move on. What I think that the key to libertarian movement these days is just, okay, learn a good libertarian, learn libertarianism, and then go off and do your own thing. Like, I'm going to be bringing it to horror. I am going to bring libertarianism to horror. Horror movies. I don't really care for TV. Because if it sucks, God, I don't want to watch hours of it. 2 hours is enough if it sucks. I don't want to do any more than that. I don't want to have to, it's too much of an investment. I just don't care. I just don't watch. I've never been a TV person. I don't know. I loved Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. And I'll be honest with you, that's the last time I loved television. I have tried to, believe it or not, get back into it a little bit. I tried some horror stuff in the last 10 years, and I got through some of it. I watched a couple of seasons of Walking Dead, a couple seasons of American Horror Story. I tried to watch the Bates Motel, but the pedophilia stuff, no, I wasn't going there. And the incest pedo stuff, it was too creepy for me. And what else? Hannibal. I watched a bit of Fringe, but I checked out of that one. So really, Hannibal is the only modern television show that I've seen all of, and there's only 2 seasons of it. I'm pretty sure there's just 2. And it just quit. It didn't give us a proper ending. It just quit. And so 2 seasons of that I watched. So I watched the whole thing. I watched a couple of episodes of Under the Dome. I thought that could be kind of a cool concept, but it kind of went stupid. So yeah, there's not much TV in my life. There's none. Like there's entire years that I go without watching any TV at all. Zero television. Zero. Um, how's the stream doing? Doing fine. Nobody's watching. I think I have to just keep doing this and then they'll come. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But maybe I should just unsubscribe from him. Joshinator, I don't even know what that is. No idea. Two views. 23 minutes. Is this who I think it is? Might be. No, maybe not. I wonder what he said about this movie. Maybe I liked one of his reviews. Oh, Fantasy Island. And I wanted to keep track of him. However, maybe I won't like him anymore. I don't know. He seems to be into horror, so well, I'll keep him on the list. I don't know. Maybe he'll be good. See, I have to keep looking and looking and looking for, horror that I can stand listening to. If you like the politics in, for example, Get Out, and basically a metaphor for slavery. If you like that,
call from 9059-7313-85. Call from 9059.
oh, wait. Hey, you can't hear all that. Hey. Anyway. So, anyway, where was I? Yeah, so, like, if you can, like a movie like Get Out, and you're not going to bring up the fact that this is really just a metaphor for slavery, again, like white men haven't been reminded about slavery in the last 5 minutes, so Jordan Peele is going to remind us again. Jordan Peele and Blumhouse are going to remind us because we haven't been made to feel guilty about it in the last 5 minutes. And then, by the way, the whole slavery conversation is stupid because they literally zoom in on the slavery piece, on the slavery parts, and forget about everything else. They just completely forget about everything else. They forget about, like right now, right here today, if these people really cared about slavery, if Jordan Peele and Jason Blum and all the people involved in that movie really cared about slavery, they'd be talking about other slavery as well. But they don't. They talk specifically about white on black slavery in America when it happened. They don't even bring up the black on black slavery in America when it happened. They don't bring up anything else. They got their blinders on. Like, you can literally go to the Middle East or Africa right now and get on a plane and go over there and buy yourself a slave. You can literally do that. But, they're not going to talk about it. It's just like I said, Hotel Rwanda would never get told today. It's slavery and fucking the Holocaust over and over and over again. Just put the fucking white guilt on repeat. Repeat, 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 repeat. That's not trying to remember when, and trying to improve life. That is just fucking, you remember when your kid got caught stealing a chocolate bar from the store? Now we're going to remind him every single day about how much of a little shit he was. And never letting go of it. We're just going to keep reminding him that he's a shit. We're going to forget about all the other kids that were also there stealing chocolate bars. And you're going to forget about the time you stole all your chocolate bars. But you're just going to keep zoom in, narrow in on that one kid and just keep going over and over and over again. But you're going to say that it's stunning and brave because, white men need some more guilt and it did happen, and you're going to justify it all over the place. You're going to justify your blinders up, zooming in on one specific, very, very specific type of slavery, ignoring all of the others, and you're going to zoom in on that, and then you're going to tell me that I'm getting things wrong? Are you fucking kidding me? You're fucking kidding me, right? So, we know what it's about. The jig is up. The left has overplayed its hand. We don't care. But when you skip over that, when you don't address that, it's either you don't know how to address it, you don't know to address it. You just keep being reminded about slavery every day somewhere. Your school is doing it, or the news pundit is doing it, or something is doing it, right? The TV show you're watching is doing it. Somebody somewhere is doing it to make you feel guilty, make you feel bad about yourself, keeping you opening your wallet, giving out your money, so that other people can excuse their bad behaviors. Well, I robbed that store and raped that girl because my great 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 grandfather was a slave. Are you sure he was a slave? No, I have absolutely no idea. But he might have been. You know how few black people in America were actually descendants of slaves? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna take the slave card anyway, just because, I'm black and I'm just gonna do it anyway. And it's just such a stupid conversation, and it's just about guilt. It's just about guilt. It's all dumb. But anyway, so I'm constantly and in my world of horror, if you can't bring these things up, these people that are talking about horror are completely omitting these things from their conversations. Completely omitting them. And that's wrong. I mean, it's one thing if it happened a little bit here and a little bit there, like it used to, but now it's everywhere, in everything, all over the place. And it actually, the agenda, the leftist agenda comes before even storytelling. And maybe the leftists are fine with it. Maybe it's just like, yeah, just, keep shitting on men, keep shitting on white people, just keep shitting on straight people, keep shitting on Christians. I can't get enough of that. Make that the foremost. Make every single TV show and every single movie a social justice lecture. But, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway. So, it's got to be talked about. When you see stupid being pervasive and squishing its way out through everything, you say something, you mention it, you talk about it. Yes, white on black slavery in America was a bad thing. But they even tried to bring that shit up to us up here in fucking Canada. We didn't even have slavery up here. But it doesn't matter, you're a white man, so you're guilty by association. Just like that black guy is a descendant of slavery just by, I guess victim on account of association or whatever you want to call that. Craziness. Absolutely crazy. Now, it's got to be talked about. These people need to be put in their places. They need to go the fuck away. They need to lose. Now, don't get me wrong. These powerful government people, they will destroy everything before they give up their power. It's just like Hollywood right now. Hollywood is failing. Hollywood is going down the toilet, going down the drain. They've overplayed their hand. And I think now is when they're getting really angry and upset. Because they're angry that they're failing. So now they've got nothing to lose, so they're just screaming like little kids. Once you told your kid that they're not going to Disneyland, then they even get worse. Their behavior made them not go to Disneyland. Now they just they go extra hard at being a little shit. It's the same thing as Hollywood. You're not going to see their movie. You're not kissing their ass. You're not listening. You're calling them fucking stupid on Twitter. Shut up, Cher. We don't care about what your fucking, your dumbass plastic face has to say about fucking climate change. Just shut up. Fucking sing and dance and shut up. Tell a good story. You're here to entertain us, not lecture us. Trust me, we don't want lectures from you. Some of the most vile, disgusting human beings on earth. Okay? We don't want to hear it. There's no casting couches in my house. There's no kids at parties, at any of my parties. That's a Hollywood thing. Anyway, philosophy insights, just little bits of philosophy here and there, good stuff. MRC TV, Young Ripa, we've already been through. World Class Bullshitters, I think we've already been through. They are more, I guess, Fandom Menace. A lot of these Fandom Menace people are actually pretty centrist or even on the left. They're just anti-far left. It's like how Tim Pool explains how the break in the left, it is real. Now, there is conflict over here on the right, but not like the left. Communism or center left. Like, this far left shit has gone fucking insane. Nick DiPaolo, another right-wing comedian. He doesn't even consider himself right-wing, but he is. Dark Corners reviews. I'm just trying out different horror people. Because there are so few that, say what needs to be said. Judicial Watch. Again, I should just unsubscribe. Anthony Brian Logan. Now, here's a black guy. He's not really the most eloquent, but I still really enjoy his delivery of breaking down stories. Some people watch, like I said, Tim Pool. I just can't. Every single one of Tim Pool's videos was alarmist, and he's not going to learn a thing. He's been a far lefty his entire life, and he's not learning a goddamn thing. And when you say stupid things like, and this is literal, when he says things like, "I don't know anything about economics," but Trump paying for wounded veterans loans, school loans, is a good thing. I'm sorry, but when you say, I don't understand math, but that math equation is correct, that means you're a fucking idiot. You need to stop talking. But that's Tim Pool. He's never going to learn. He's a lefty through and through. He pretends, he thinks he's one of those nice guy lefties. the center left, the reasonable communist. He's a Bernie bro. He's all of that shit, right? He just thinks, or it's either that or he's a really great liar. Maybe he's just an evil communist, but he's a good actor. I don't know. But I know he's lied in some capacities about the money he raised. He's not going to tell the truth about that, but doesn't have to. It's really not any of our business, but whatever. So, yeah, I like his delivery of, the sort of main news topics of the day. Mike Matei, see, the people over at AVGN or Cinemassacre, they generally shut up about politics. Wherever they can, they shut up. So I can just enjoy the content. Now, admittedly, I don't like video games, but I do like horror. And James Rolfe and Mike Matei are both really into horror. And they just talk horror. They don't talk about the politics. It wasn't until recently that you had to talk about politics, but they don't. It doesn't come up. And with the video game stuff, if I am going to enjoy a video game, anything, which is extraordinarily rare, it's going to be watching a video of an old one, because this new stuff, I'm lost. I'm zero. Me equals zero when it comes time to anything modern video game. I'm no interest. It's too complicated. I don't know what's happening, and I don't care. I just don't want to have anything to do with it. But a classic video game that is super mega simple, like you got one button, a jump and a shoot or something. I can absorb that, and I can appreciate a video game and the entertainment that it gives, and all the rest of it. It's just not for me. I don't play video games. Gavin McGuinness, leader of the Proud Boys, who's been kicked out of Conservative Inc. I like him. I don't love him, but I like him quite a bit. I like to keep up to, with what he's doing as well. The Human Prosperity Project on Hoover. These are conservative think tank, and they're okay. Odin's movie blog, Fandom Menace. He's trying to do pretty good, but I don't know. I come and go with this guy. He's supposed to be a Christian too, but I don't know. I think he built up an audience of lefties, and he's trying to play to his audience. I think he's maybe conflicted, and maybe he doesn't quite understand the left and the right. But he's okay. After Prison Show. This one here pushes my limits. I like to be pushed. I'm going to give you for example, like a pedophile, ex-murderer, choppy, killy, eaty. I mean, the world's most gross, disgusting human beings. Sometimes they get out of prison because they serve their sentence. Now, maybe they went in the 1970, and they got out in 2010, 40 years later, and then he goes over and has a chat with them. That's an extreme situation, It's just like when you hear about the things that people do, you kind of just want them to die or be killed. You wonder what the point was of keeping him in prison for 40 years, and now he's gonna fucking, but it pushes my limit of tolerance, and it's like, I don't know what to say about it, really. It's not like I'm on board with it, but it's not like I'm not on board with it. I like rehabilitation, and he seems to be doing okay. He's an ex-con himself. So I like the idea. It just pushes my limits of tolerance and acceptance and all this kind of stuff. Pushes me, which is a good thing. But to be frank, I don't consume much of the material, because like I said, once you once you hear some of the things that some of these guys have done, you're like, oh Jesus, I kind of just wish they were all dead. But then again, you gotta fucking calm down. Calm down, Gary. Don't be fucking violent. You gotta not be violent because that's where all the shit takes place, and it's true. It is true. You don't just fucking go around killing people. I'm a fucking libertarian, for God's sakes. You gotta calm down, and calm down, and not go friggin' violent. It's hard. You think it, but that's where it should stay. Just a thought. You thought it, and then you go, oh, well, that was a dumb thought, but now I'm over it. Okay. But some of these guys, like, hey, you're in for murder, and now you're out. And now you're on the after prison show. It's just, it's a tough one. Okay, John talks. Again, just, we've already went through him. Your boy, Zach. He's kind of a lefty, but he's a comic skater. Again, comic skate is just the SJWs have infiltrated the comics industry. So these people got kicked out, and now they're doing their own comics in their own time, in their own way, with YouTube channels. That's pretty much it. Bill Burr, I used to like him. I should probably cancel him because I just don't care. He used to be really cool and really edgy a few years ago, but now he seems to be all Disney-fied. I don't know. New Marvel deleted scenes that will change the MCU. Oh, I don't care. Screen Rant. Mainstream news, I guess. But the only Screen Rant I like are the pitch meetings. It's the only things I watch. Turning Point USA, keep track of sort of conservative ink. And we consider that an insult. It'd be interesting, like the infighting between the center left, like the, I guess, corporate Democrats and your friggin' commies over there that you guys are having on the left. We have internal problems too. We have libertarians and, I guess, your basic bitch conservative. But there's also sort of more a radical, extreme, just, I guess, hardcore conservative. It's hard to pinpoint a group, but I would say hardcore conservative. No ifs, ands, or buts about anything. We don't give ground. Versus the ones that do give ground. Jesse Lee Peterson, a black guy who is very just, well, say it how it is. Again, in the world of all the black people are supposed to be on the left, and all of the black people are victims, and all of the black peoples were hurt by slavery, and all the black people this, and all the black people that. It's nice. It's beautiful, really. And I'm gay, and I don't got anything nice to say about the left. But it's just nice to hear that not all black people are buying this bullshit that are being sold to them by the friggin' Bernie Sanders, people of the world. It's nice when, and not only are a lot of these guys just breaking free from it, but they're going to tell you to fuck off. They're going to tell you right where you can put your fucking Bernie Sanders. You can shove him right up your frickin' Bernie Sanders. And he's one of them. He's a super mega Christian, though. He probably won't swear. Would you vote for a socialist or a homosexual? So somebody asked him that. And he's going to say no, and then no. And I would say the same thing. Would I vote for a socialist? Of course not. Would I vote for a homosexual? No. Oh my God, you do have internalized homophobia. Oh my goodness, you hate yourself, don't you? No. It's just more complicated, but generally, it just up and up. No, I wouldn't vote for a homosexual. I think a homosexual, like, Well, would be a very bad leader. I just do. I think you got to have kids. I think you had to have DNA. You had to have all that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna call that a video. We can just keep going, and it's pretty much the same stuff. If you want, I'll just scroll down a little bit, and if you want to pause it and see who else I'm subscribed to, go ahead. But yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I do on the internet. Where do I get my stuff from? YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, um, and yeah, these are the people that I like. Some of these, like you found out. Um, oh, he gave that a thumbs up. I might have to say goodbye to this guy. See, sometimes I start watching a black guy, and then you realize that yeah, he's a lefty, and he's got a big chip on his shoulder, and everything to him is about race too, and you just got to say goodbye. But I mean, is it okay to like this movie with the lesbian and the fucking dad crotch? I don't know. I guess. Well, you can like whatever the fuck you want, but I mean, just from an overall perspective, this is a kids movie. You know, the lesbian. You know, it's like they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Like you've already seen the drag queens fucking stripping for the kids and all the rest of it, right? And the drag kids stripping for the adults. I mean, there's no end to that. Um, so yeah, yes, I'm a gay. That pushes back against gay activism. Absolutely, guaranteed. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get to the bottom of this again. Pause if you want to see what I'm looking at, and there you go. Talk to you later. Okay, bye now.